No, whoa!
What's up? What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, Ross? Ross, what are we doing here?
We are gonna do a show. We've got Dylan and Ross Say Sports here, full press coverage, full press radio network, with my good friend Dylan Sanders at Dilly Sanders on Twitter, myself Ross Jackson at Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter. Don't forget to check out Full Press Radio as well at Full Press Radio. Don't forget to download the Full Press Coverage app also, so you can listen to us on your mobile devices wherever you're out with, or of course, you can follow at Full Press Radio on Twitter and watch us live as well. Dylan, we were away for the weekend. Here we are. We are back, and guess what? Guess what's different about this week than last week?
What's that?
It's draft week.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness gracious!
We made it.
We've done it.
We made it. Now we have to do is get through draft week, which is a whole other task.
It's going to be a lot of coffee and a lot of energy drinks and a lot of energy balls.
Energy expounded.
A lot of snot sleep.
Snot sleep? Gross.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
You and Brandon were talking about something yesterday with a bunch of different flavors. I assume that was an energy drink.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Brandon lives during draft week. Draft season, really, off of Bang Energy.
Y'all didn't do energy drinks in Mobile, though.
No, I didn't want to be judged that harshly.
Who was going to judge you, Gabe? It's gonna be
Ross, Ross, did you see your reaction to when we went to cook?
That's different. That's different. That was y'all buying a 17-course meal for $17. I was concerned for you. I was not judging you.
Whatever you say, Ross.
There's a big difference between judging people and being worried about them. Admittedly, it's a thin line, but I think I walked that line pretty well.
I didn't do energy drinks while we were in Mobile. It's good for my health because they're really not good for you.
They're not, right? Like it's not a great source.
Really terrible source of energy, but they work. And Ross, let me tell you, Bang energy drinks. If you don't drink one for a while, drinking one really feels like you just did 3 lines of cocaine. It's a really weird feeling. I think if you had one right now, you'd probably have a heart attack.
I was gonna say, I mean, this should surprise no one, but I have never had an energy drink in my entire life. Like never a Red Bull, never any of the Monster, any of it. Never had one. I could only imagine drinking one now.
How much is in your cup of coffee, Ross? How much caffeine?
How much is in like a standard cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Let me see. In a standard cup of coffee, there's about 95 milligrams of caffeine, excuse me. And I probably go through a few a day.
Well, one Bang Ross has 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Jeez, all at once in one drink. Like, that's the thing. Like, I could go through 3 cups of coffee easy, but they're usually all throughout the day. It's not,
No, I knew people that would drink like 2 bangs a day. As in Brandon Olsen.
Make sure you follow Brandon on Twitter at WNS_Brandon just so you can check in on him.
There was a kid in class that used to open up a Monster Energy drink and then pour a 5-hour energy into it and then drink it.
Oh, wow. Yikes. I never did.
Crackhead energy from him.
What do they call it? Because there's a drink to where you do that, right? Like you put a shot inside of a Guinness or something like that.
Yeah, it's a Jaeger bomb.
Jaeger bomb. So this is like a
monster bomb.
Monster bomb. Is that what they call them? They should.
I don't think anyone calls it because I think he's the only person to ever do it. And I have not heard from him. I've not heard from him since.
He's still running.
Colton, if you're out there. Also, that's definitely something you would expect from someone named Colton.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. I knew his name was Colton before you said it. I was like, oh, that's Colton.
Oh, man. Well, what have you been up to, Ross?
I've seen him doing laps across the country. What have I been doing?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
I have been relaxing over the weekend a bit, and I shot some videos for Canal Street Chronicles, and I finished up the Ultimate Mock Draft over at the Locked On Podcast Network and Odyssey. Got the last episode out last night. Very proud of that. 6-episode series, over 79 voices on that podcast throughout the series, throughout that week. Around 70 to 80 hours of editing. It was awesome. It was really great. Ton of fun.
That's awesome.
But exhausting. Exhausting, but a ton of fun. But I'm going to be so ready to do it again next year because I'm going to have this template ready. Just like chop, 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 plug, 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 and I'm out.
I mean, I guess that's how that works.
Yeah. Templates are great. What about you? What have you been up
to? Schoolwork. It's finals.
Schoolwork. And you also rented out a theater.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We did. We did finally get to see Mortal Kombat, and we rented out a theater for it, which it's not as expensive as you would expect.
Really?
Yeah. So, how much would you think it would cost to rent out a movie theater, an entire movie theater?
A couple hundred.
It was $150.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, that ain't bad.
To rent out a movie theater, and we had 20 people going, so it was really like $8 a pop.
Oh, so you went for cheaper than actually going to the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty dope.
Well, there are two theaters near us. There's one that does it for $150, and then AMC does it for $200.
$200?
Yeah.
I was thinking like $350.
You would expect, but Ross, as you might know, over the past year, theaters have not had that much business. So they're really scraping for anything.
That's fair. I wonder if there's any theaters around here that are letting you rent it out. That'd be a pretty dope date night, just to rent out the theater for two people.
And then go see like whatever they have in theaters.
Yeah, whatever's in theaters right now. I have no idea.
Just wait for Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you also have to watch Endgame, right?
Oh man, yeah. Can I rent out a theater and do Endgame?
Maybe you just ask. Hey, you also got
Endgame in there.
Also, fun fact about whenever you rent out a theater, Ross, they don't do commercials.
No, like previews or anything.
No
like
previews.
That?
There were not any previews.
Just cut straight to the chase.
Uh-huh.
I love it. What did you think about more? I know we have to talk about sports, but I have to ask you, what did you think about Mortal Kombat?
Oh, I loved it, and I cannot wait for the sequel. I'm already on the edge of my seat. I'm buying a day one ticket.
I think it's great. Like, I know a lot of people don't like it and everything like that. I have one beef with it. It's the same beef that I had with Annihilation, and it's that Reptile.
Only one beef with Annihilation.
It's one that I also had with Annihilation. Let me say it that way. No, Alec, I haven't yet. I have not seen Endgame yet. Megan and I have been trying to carve out time to sit down and watch. We have to watch Ant-Man and Wasp and then Endgame, and then I'm all caught up, and then I can do Winter Soldier and all that. But yeah, we got to step on it. Reptile as a creature as opposed to Reptile as a ninja still bugs the hell out of me.
To be fair, they never said it was explicitly Reptile.
It's in the Reptilian. I know.
They called him something else. It could be something.
Yeah, it could be something completely different. But I still
pretty sure it was Reptile, though.
Yeah, I mean, all that they said was the Reptilian. That's all that they said. So I might be taking a leap here, but I really just want Reptile in one of these movies. But I was super excited to see the characters that they had in this. Some of my favorite characters were in this movie.
Well, my favorite character was in this movie, and my favorite character is Jax.
Oh, great! Yeah,
Jax is my favorite character.
Mine is definitely. Oh, god.
He kind of got shafted in this movie. He was thrown away and then only came back for the end.
He was really like a introductory arc, and that was it. That's all you really got for Jax.
But we'll get him in the sequel.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Kung Lao, and I'm a big fan of Cabal.
Kung Lao was awesome.
Oh man, that was dope. So I'm very excited. I loved it. I liked it. I know that there were things like that. I love the fact that they spent the entire budget on special effects. They spent the
That's
entire
all they needed to do.
Yeah, they spent the entire budget making a Mortal Kombat movie. What a Mortal Kombat movie is supposed to do. There were like 4 extras in this film, and that's it.
They really were like, all right, so let's put a list of priorities in this movie, and then number 1 was the fighting, and then number 30 was the next one they listed, and that was plot. And that's all, and that's all I needed. That's all I need from a Mortal Kombat movie.
It was like special effects, fighting, callbacks.
Oh, everything has a callback. Everything matters. Everything from the first half of that movie comes back in the second half. Even the smallest things you would think, oh, that was funny. And then it cuts back and then boom.
Yeah.
Great movie, though. I loved it.
Yeah. Are y'all talking about it at all over at Binge Corner?
I don't know. I don't know.
You should. You definitely should. Like if you and Ian get on another pod or something like that, and then do a little bit of a Mortal Kombat review, I would definitely tune in for that. I love the. I'm excited to get into the Winter Soldier review stuff once I actually can watch it. So excited for all that. Okay, we should get to sports. Do you have a favorite thing from Twitter today?
Yes.
And is it sports related?
Yes. Okay. Yes. It is, of course. So after the Dodgers Padres game with Trevor Bauer pitching, Trevor Bauer, of course, was in the preseason like closing. He said he would like close his eye to give himself a challenge during the spring training. And then so, of course, he got taken yard by Fernando Tatis. And Fernando Tatis, in mocking Trevor Bauer, covered his eye while running past him.
Fernando Tatis is amazing.
Yes. But then Trevor Bauer quote tweet. Someone tweeted the highlight with, "Am I crazy or like did Fernando Tatis know what was coming? Let me know." And then Trevor Bauer quote tweeted that with, "If you need to know what pitch is coming so badly, just ask Daddy nicely next time, Tatis. You know I ain't scared, homie." And then Fernando Tatis's only reply, he replied to it with "Tranquilo, hijo," and it's a picture of Fernando Tatis holding his child. And the child has Trevor Bauer's face.
Oh, man.
Photoshopped on it.
Come on. I love it. Fernando Tatis is legend.
I'm retweeting this picture once again, but I love Fernando Tatis. He's my favorite baseball player, and I don't have any issue saying it.
He's definitely my second favorite.
Who's your first favorite?
Mookie Betts.
Oh, that's fair. They have a beer. They have a local beer named after Mookie Betts, and it's very delicious. Yes,
nice.
It's called Mookie's Juice.
Mookie Juice. I'm not a very big fan of that name.
Mookie Juice.
I don't feel like you should call anything juice anymore. I feel like we're past that. Like, if it's juice, it's juice. If it's not, don't call it juice anymore. You know what I mean? Like, juice should just be reserved to one thing and one thing only at this point. That's it. Just juice. Juice is juice. Stop messing around with juice. Anyway, my favorite thing from Twitter is Pelicans related, because when you're a fan of a bad basketball team, as you well know as well, Dylan, you have to find certain silver linings in certain places. For you, there's the draft lottery, staying within the pick, first 4 picks, things like that. For me, it's Zion Williamson, right? There was a tweet that came out earlier today from StatMuse that said, or actually it was yesterday, that said Zion Williamson can miss his next 216 shots and still shoot better than 50% on the season.
It's amazing.
It's pretty outstanding.
Yeah,
outright ridiculous.
So, Ross, to give you an idea, those are the tweets that Pelicans Twitter is getting. This is the type of tweet that Rockets Twitter is getting. The Rockets injury report for today. Out. DJ Augustine, Avery Bradley, Sterling Brown, Dante Exum, Eric Gordon, Daniel House Jr., David Nwaba, Kevin Porter Jr., John Wall, and Christian Wood.
Jesus.
So this is what it's like. How am I supposed to watch that, Ross?
Who's playing? Who's even on the team?
They had a 7-man rotation for that game.
Wow. That's insane.
And they got destroyed.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
So that was fun. I lied. It wasn't fun. It was the opposite of fun. They held their own. They only lost by 13. But yeah, the starting lineup was Armani Brooks, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jayshawn Tate, DJ Wilson, and Kelly Olynyk.
Wow. Kenyon Martin Jr., huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to Anthony Lamb scoring 21 points.
There you go. See? Silver linings. That's what you look for when you're a fan of a bad basketball team. Speaking of basketball teams, I want to get to our next topic real quick. It has a little bit of a local flavor, particularly for you, Dylan. LSU women's basketball gets a new head coach.
And it is a legendary one at that.
A legendary coach.
We are finally LSU fans are very, very well acquainted with Kim Mulkey already because her son, Kramer Robinson, is one of the best LSU players. I think.
Baseball players, right?
Baseball players, yes.
Yeah.
One of the best LSU baseball players in LSU history, I would say. Mm-hmm. He's up there. He's playing for the St. Louis Cardinals now, but every time he went up to bat, I would say it was brought up as much as Jimmy Graham playing basketball.
Yeah.
Was the fact that he was the son of Kim Mulkey.
Yeah.
So it already felt like she was part of LSU, but she wasn't. She was over there winning championships with Baylor, but now she's going to come and try and do that with LSU women's basketball. And hey, they need something like this.
Yeah, the LSU women's basketball team hasn't been great for a little while. This ended up being a huge get for LSU as Kim Mulkey coming over from Baylor, who was a 2 seed and got into the semifinals in this most recent tournament, was eliminated by UConn and Paige Buckets. Has won Big 12 titles every year since 2011. Has 11 Big 12 titles in her career. It's incredible. And now she's going to LSU, bringing tons of staff with her as well. A couple of staff members from Baylor, some of which already Louisiana natives, actually. And you've already seen some big-time recruitments sort of put their recruitment on hold that were going to Baylor. And so now you wonder if they're going to follow her over to LSU and to LSU's newly rejuvenated women's basketball program.
Well, they need it because as where the coaching staff is getting rejuvenated, like 6 players transferred.
Right.
So it's gonna be an interesting year for a couple of years, but it'd be nice to have LSU women's basketball be on the up and up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see a consistent LSU team in the championships or in the running. March Madness will be a lot more fun. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, definitely. Now you've got so Kim Mulkey left Waco, landed in Baton Rouge, immediately got together with Coach Ogeron as well as Coach Wade, and the 3 of them went over to the PMAC, Pete Maravich Center, and basically looked around at possible upgrades and things like that. So it's pretty cool that Coach Mulkey shows up, and then the first thing that they do is say, okay, how do we imprint your presence in our facility and everything? I thought that was a pretty cool gesture.
Yeah.
Which might be a standard gesture. I just don't know. I don't know the usual rhythm for hiring college basketball coaches in particular, but I feel like that's something special considering her career.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
Yeah. She didn't do a farewell press conference at Baylor at all, though.
Well, I have to imagine people are not very happy, Ross, because she was in the middle of a contract and just like, you know what? I'm going to go over to Baton Rouge because she's not from Louisiana.
No.
think she lived in Louisiana for a little while. I mean, her son is from here.
Yeah, and she played for Tech, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense because her son was born in Ruston.
Oh yeah, Ruston. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, I think she played at Tech, if I remember correctly. Yep, Louisiana Tech, 1984
and was a coach.
Or 1980 to 1984. Yeah, and coach from 85 to 96, assistant coach.
Nope. No, she was an assistant coach from 1985 to 2000 in Ruston.
Oh, because she was also associate head coach for a little while. I see.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So that makes sense. She's from Santa Ana, California, which, by the way, is also the home of the South Coast Repertory Theater, where I used to work. That's a thing. That's pretty dope. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see what happens for the LSU women's basketball team. They certainly deserve it, and I hope that this ends up working out really, really well for them. We're going to get into some NFL draft news here in a little bit. The 49ers reportedly closing in on either Mac Jones or Trey Lance. We'll talk about whether or not we actually believe it. The Falcons apparently and reportedly open to trading Julio Jones. We should also talk about what the Falcons should do at pick number 4, depending upon what happens at pick 3 with the San Francisco 49ers. But we'll talk about that here on the other side. Real quick, I want to take a look first at other things going on around the NBA. We have a couple of NBA games coming up this evening, or more than a couple, but some NBA games coming up this evening. I just want to know if there's anything that you're excited about seeing, or if there's anything that you are dreading seeing this evening as well, considering.
Let's see. I'm
very much not looking forward to the Pelicans game tonight.
Pelicans Clippers. Man, what happened last time the Pelicans and Clippers play?
That's fair. That's true. But
no, I'm thinking about during the bubble or what during the bubble. Remember that game during the bubble? That was just absurdity.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think Pelicans Clippers could be fun. It could be
fun.
I mean, to be fair, most Pelicans games are fun to watch, especially as a third party.
True. You just have to not be. You just have to not be invested.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Pelicans fans should not be upset by losses anymore. We're less than 2 weeks away from the end. No, we're right about 2 weeks away from the end of the season. We're just over 2.5. Let's call it 2.5 weeks away from the end of the season, and they're not really going to be a contender. So you might as well get the best draft pick you can at this point.
Yeah. Definitely.
But you also want to be competitive. And the good thing about Pelicans fans, they're mostly competitive in pretty much every game, but they still lose.
2 birds, 1 stone, you say?
Yeah. You get to have the good team, but also the bad record.
Yeah.
They're 5 games away from the play-in tournament. It's just like there's not going to be a contender this year. It's okay, and it's okay. That's okay.
Did you see the reports earlier that the NBA is apparently considering making the play-in tournament permanent?
I would love it.
Me too. I've seen people pretty upset about it, but I like it a lot.
Luka's upset about it.
Who?
Because Luka Doncic. Because his team's on the bubble. Just win more games, Luka. You won't have to worry about it. I say as my team, the Houston Rockets, have the least wins in the NBA.
Oh, man.
Fun fact, Ross, the 18-43 Detroit Pistons have not yet been eliminated from the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Wow. We need you got to get our favorite teams over to the East, man.
I would agree. Oh, the East right now, the Pelicans would still not be in the play-in tournament. They'd be closer, though. They'd be closer.
It hurts.
Oh, man. Yeah, but this playoffs is going to be weird, I feel like. It's going to feel weird. I mean, the Lakers are a 5 seed. The Grizzlies are in there. The Timberwolves still aren't.
Got him.
All right, Ross. Do you want to go over to the break real quick, and then we can come back and...
Let's do it. We'll talk some NFL draft because we have a lot of draft stories to get to. So we'll go ahead and jump to our break. We'll be back here in just a moment. Dylan Rossi Sports Full Press Coverage, Full Press Radio Network. Boop.
Are you good chilling with Ross for a second?
Hell yeah. Drink? I'm ordering me some coffee. Whoops. Yes, I am drinking coffee and then also simultaneously ordering myself some more coffee because that's how I roll, and that's fine. And I just expect that all of you are going to support me on this. So thank you is what I mean to say above all else. Do I want coffee or do I want like a fancy tea? Somebody? Anybody? Damn, I'm dumb. Let's see. Coffee. Coconut cold brew. It's an option. I would rather a coconut hot coffee, though. Oh, I can get it hot. Yeah, buddy. Never mind. I got it. I appreciate y'all for chiming in, though. Sweet. Oat milk. Ooh, delivery. Oh, we're having a good time. Put in my discount code. What you mean?
A wimboe.
Oh, order in 6.
Huh?
I'm ordering my coffee, and I had a discount code, and I thought it was ordering 6, but it's actually order in 6.
6 minutes?
Ordering. Huh? 6 minutes, some shady you're on. I got a hot coconut latte.
I don't know if I've ever had anything coconut flavored hot.
I like it. There's a spot in San Diego called Lonnie Coffee who has the best coconut coffee ever.
I disagree with you.
You can't.
This is America.
You could. It's America. I can disagree with whoever I want, whenever I want, with whatever information I want,
for whatever reason I want. And you know what? It's America, so I'm right.
That's perfect too. Crack open the beer afterwards. That's perfect.
Yeah, definitely cracking open a nice cold beer.
What you got going on over there?
It's a Sprite.
All right, here we go. All right, everybody, we are back. Dylan and Ross City Sports, your Full Press Coverage, Full Press Radio Network.
I'm gonna lead in with a story, Ross.
Lead us in with a story, Dylan.
So my brother is a real estate agent.
Oh, cool!
He's been trying to sell this house. The neighbors don't want the house to be sold for some reason. So as he was getting ready to sell it today, it was like someone was visiting today. The neighbors tried to rut up the yard with their truck, so they couldn't sell it. But you know what happened, Ross? Their truck got stuck in the mud, so they had to call for help to get their truck out of the yard.
Oh my God. Oh, how stupid.
So obviously the cops.
Why are they so intent on not getting the car, like not letting the house get sold?
I don't know. Something doesn't seem so white about this situation. I honestly have no clue. But I'm using my deduction skills about who I know lives in that area.
Got it. Woof.
Yeah. How stupid do you have to be?
That's stupid, man. That's really dumb. Does your brother sell condos? I need to buy a condo.
I mean, I'm sure he could.
I need a condo. I need somebody to help me find a condo.
Let's go hello right now and look for a condo for Ross.
No. We've got a lot to talk about here with the NFL draft. Dylan, I want to start off with our favorite story from the day. It's a story that we've been hearing for months on end, weeks on end, I guess you could say. And it never gets old, and it's driving me crazy. So it does very much get old. Reportedly, oh, look, a condo. That's way too much. That's way too much. That's a $1.1 million condo. How much do you think I'm being paid to do Dylan and Ross Save Sports, Dylan?
Well, let's talk about the neighborhood. Ross, if it puts you at any ease, Ross, this house is valued 256% higher than the typical home here.
Wow.
The typical estimate is $308,000. So why not pay $1.1 million?
That's wild. That is wild.
Okay, is this a little bit better?
Yeah, more expensive. That's great.
Literally,
more expensive and literally less appealing than the other one. This is like more than 2 times as expensive.
Yeah, but it's got double the square footage.
Oh, okay.
Well, this house is valued 628% higher, Ross.
Oh my god. What is going on in the condo market in New Orleans? Jeez.
I don't know. You have this entire building.
Nope. That's not how condos work. Oh man. Well, this has been driving us nuts, but here we go again. The San Francisco 49ers reportedly have narrowed it down and closed in on either Mac Jones or Trey Lance at pick number 3. At this point, I'm going to tell you, I'm starting to believe it. I'm starting to believe that's actually what they're going to do.
Mark Sanchez, Ross, on Justin Fields dropping. I think it's a load of crap.
Mark Sanchez with the in-depth analysis here.
Dave Lombardi had a good thread about the interviews with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan about what was happening. Lynch, ultimately, when we arrive at decisions, we will, and come Thursday, we'll have a pick that hopefully makes everybody proud. Shanahan said that fan fervor is part of the process. Everyone asks him about the pick everywhere he goes. Shanahan has stopped answering his phone, so his friends just text his wife asking about it now instead.
Oh my goodness.
You're only going to know whether we know or not till we pick, and that's what we're comfortable keeping it at.
Good English.
Yeah.
Great grammar.
They what? All right, this is weird. This Shanahan summary. He doesn't like Twitter. It is so irresponsible to let something like social media affect your decision. We do this for a living, and I think people should be proud of us that we won't let that affect our decision. It's up to us to live with the consequences. Then Shanahan couldn't guarantee that anybody in the world would be alive Sunday. Which is a weird tweet to throw in here with no context.
Yeah, it's a weird hard left out of nowhere.
Okay.
What is that about? It's weird to just throw in out of nowhere.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that more.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all of this, reading their answers, and we're like, we want the fans to be happy, but ultimately, it's honest, we don't listen to what they're saying on social media. It makes me think it's Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that too. And it's just like this idea that like they're gonna have this selection that hopefully everyone will be proud of and everything. Like this is just weird language.
Yeah, Proud Boys.
Stop it. It's all just weird language, right? Like it's this thing where like they're trying to like talk up the selection, like they're already trying to correct it before they screw it up.
Yeah.
It's
making me think it's Mac Jones. Because I would much rather them take Trey Lance than Justin Fields. Trey Lance than Mac Jones.
Yeah, I agree. But if the idea is that, because here was the other thing that was really interesting that came from that press conference just a month ago, and Trevor Sikkema tweeted out both of these, but just a month ago, they were calling Jimmy Garoppolo their starting quarterback, saying Jimmy Garoppolo. And we knew that simply meant it was only a matter of time before he was traded. But now today, they're talking about how they felt that they needed to move up to get a starting quarterback. And so this idea that it's going to be Trey Lance.
Asked if he could guarantee that Jimmy Garoppolo would be on the 49ers roster Sunday, Kyle Shanahan said, I can't guarantee that anybody in the world will be alive Sunday. So it's a weird way to answer it, but it does add more context.
Yeah.
Because
it's weird without context to just be like, hey, by the way.
But in the Dave Lombardi tweet, that quote was its own tweet and was not prefaced with a question. So I was just really confused.
Dave Lombardi really playing the game out here. I love it. But like if the idea is that they wanted to move up to 3 to get a starting quarterback, Trey Lance probably isn't the guy then, right? Because the consensus is that Trey Lance would probably need to sit back a year. Now, I mean, that might be the consensus, and who cares, right? I mean, it's going to be up to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, but yeah, it feels like it's going to be Mac Jones.
Our job is to make the right decision. This process has been as thorough as anyone I've been a part of. It's just the language, like they're already prefacing the fans like, we know better than you.
Right. Like they're already they're already sort of saying, we know what we're doing. We know you're not going to like it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's just the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. All right.
I hope the fans are happy with it, but ultimately the key is ultimately they're going to be happy based off what we do in the future, not what they feel that night, whether they won their arguments against their friends. It's Mac Jones. It's
1,000% Mac Jones.
They know it's Mac Jones. They know people are going to say it. We love our fans. I think our job is to make the right decision. Ultimately, somebody's got to be charged with making a decision, and in this case, it's the both of us. It's Mac Jones. Mac Jones at 3, everybody.
Man, wow. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's say that the 49ers do select Mac Jones. There's been a lot of conversation around the number 4 selection. The Falcons, who currently select that pick number 4, could get a lot of phone calls around that pick. Should they trade out, or should they go with Justin Fields at pick 4?
So the feeling is, Ross. Hello. Ross, are you good?
Hey.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of you're like cutting up for a little bit. Okay. But the feeling is that Trey Lance is Terry Fontenot's guy. But Kyle Pitts is Arthur Smith's guy.
Here we go.
But we could see them also trade back. But I think I would not be surprised if we see Trey Lance get picked, because apparently Terry Fontenot really likes him.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. The GM doesn't always win that.
No, that's true.
Doesn't always win that. And neither of them have a long standing, right? Like neither of them have seniority. Like they're both in their first year with one another and everything. So it'd be very interesting to see exactly what they do there.
Both fresh off of promotions as well. So
right. The other conversation going on around the Atlanta Falcons is that reportedly there are some conversations potentially trading Julio Jones, wide receiver.
Terry Fontenot has seen that man fumble so many times, twice a year, in fact, at least. He's like, I don't want to trust this man,
Obviously, the cap hit is a huge one. It's a horrific contract for the team. If they decide to trade him, it would probably be after the draft has begun or after the draft for future selections, and then designated as a post-June 1 transaction. To help to free up whatever they can. What do you think that the market for Julio Jones is going to be? I mean, I think that the market will be active, but like, what should the market price be for trading for a guy like Julio Jones?
I think you start at a second.
Mm-hmm. Like as the team that's offering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you start at a second,
and then maybe add some other late picks, things like that, or later picks.
I think the Falcons could get a second this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could.
I don't know if they can do a trade for it this year if they're going to do, because they'll have to, if they trade him, they have to do it as a post June 1.
Oh, true.
So they have to do it for future draft picks.
Oh yeah, that'll be true. That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, I think they could get a second. Starting there.
I think they could too. I mean, I think it would be like a second and some, you know what I mean? Some other selections, things like that. But I do think they could get a second for him. I mean, obviously he's still one of the best wide receivers in the league. He makes an offense. What teams would be interested in Julio Jones?
Buffalo
would be a really good one.
Cleveland, I would say.
Cleveland.
Well, Ross, you keep bringing up Green Bay and interested in these wide receivers, and they never are.
I know. I always do that.
Baltimore?
The reason why I think Green Bay is interested in the wide receiver is because of how little they've invested at wide receiver. So I do have to remember to keep that in context. Baltimore would be a really interesting one, though. New Orleans? No, I'm just joking. Baltimore would be a really interesting one. Houston could be really interesting. Because I think Houston
give up everything they got for DeAndre Hopkins.
Right. To get Julio Jones, yeah. Indianapolis could be an interesting one. A lot of AFC teams in need of wide receivers.
Tennessee.
Uh-huh. Oh, Julio Jones and AJ Brown together? Come on. That'd be ridiculous.
Also, I do want to mention right now something that got brought up with Mason brought it up, and I hadn't put two and two together. But you know who the offensive coordinator at UNC is right now, right? Do you know? Mm-hmm. It's the guy who was the offensive coordinator for Ole Miss during DK Metcalf and AJ Brown's tenure, and Dawson Knox and all that. Oh. And you have to think about what were the concerns about those guys coming out of college, and then you look at De'Ami Brown, and they're kind of the same story.
Yeah,
underutilized, doesn't have the route tree progression, but it's not like these guys couldn't do it, and they've worked out and further progressed in the NFL. And
yeah, good point.
So it's interesting to think about. You got to think about that whenever you're looking at De'Ami Brown now.
Yeah. When you look at his 3-cone, 7.73 in the unofficial, in the early goings of it. So, yeah, it feels like the criticism around De'Ami Brown could be very, very similar to DK Metcalf. I don't think De'Ami Brown's going to turn out to be DK Metcalf in the NFL. However,
AJ Brown also had those concerns.
AJ Brown, exactly.
I think he could get up to that level. I think he could.
Mm-hmm. A lot of folks give him the comp of Stephon Diggs. I know neither of us are big time fans of player comps, but I do think that is a pretty interesting one.
All right, Ross. So I've been searching the market for some condos for you.
Okay.
This one a little bit outside of New Orleans. It's in Metairie.
Metairie?
Yeah. Could you make a commute from Metairie?
Make a what now?
A commute. You can make a commute from Metairie. From Metairie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, easy.
All right. So let's look at this one. It's a little bit more reasonable.
$16.9 million. Good Lord.
See, this house is too rich.
That is a damn mansion. That's not a condo. That is a mansion.
This house just looks too rich for me. I wouldn't like it.
It's very ornate. Everything about it is ornate.
All right.
Imagine okay, hold on, wait. Imagine buying that home, but putting the furniture you have right now in it.
That'd be hilarious.
You know what I mean? If you buy a home like that, you have to.
This house is furnished. You definitely buy this house
comes
furnished.
Okay, all right.
I feel like you have to, right?
That's a lot of damn rooms to furnish, if not.
No expense spared. Top of the line amenities, too many to list. 15-seat theater, full spas with massage room, hair and nail stations, hot and wet saunas. Ew. Oh, and it has a bathroom.
Oh, thank goodness. Just one?
Just the one.
How many bedrooms is this?
6 bed, 11 bath.
Okay, this is the scam.
15.23 thousand. 15,230 square feet.
Jesus.
You have to pay $1,300 for the homeowner association.
Woof.
Monthly cost only 70.7 thousand.
Yikes. I'm cool. I'm very cool. Don't need all that.
Metairie Academy for Advanced Studies is only 0.3 miles away.
Oh, walkable. Very good.
There's this lot for $21.2 million.
Look at all this grass.
You don't even get a house. It's valued $10,000 higher than the typical home in this zip code.
Yeah, I wonder why. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be very interested to see what ends up happening with some of these draft prospects. Ooh, that's a house right there.
Can we order this? Can I get an Airbnb here?
Yeah, for real.
Oh my god, this is okay. Gorgeous. This house is so much better than the last house,
and cheaper.
Not by much. It's been bigger.
It's 2/3 the price of that empty land. Oh my goodness,
man.
All right, we had another quick draft topic that we kind of wanted to run through a little bit. The cornerbacks, of course, are getting a ton of conversation here in this ahead of this draft. Caleb Farley, a lot of conversation around his medicals. Greg Newsome, a lot of conversation around his durability. You've of course got J.C. Horn, who seems like the surefire to me CB1 in this draft, but Patrick Surtain being the guy that seems to be the first defensive player off the board, or at least looking like it. Do you have any preference when it comes to these corners?
I definitely do. I do. I have my guys J.C. Horn and Caleb Farley. Mm-hmm. I have them ahead of Surtain. Surtain is like the technical guy, which means he'll probably be good, but I just like the athleticism that Farley and Horn bring. Greg Newsome deserves a mention because he does have the best resume out of any cornerback in this class.
Mm-hmm. He's got a good one. The only thing I have against Greg Newsome is the lack of takeaways. He's got 1 interception in his career, but he does have 24 pass breakups over the last 2 years. So if you can get him with the right coach and then get him coached up to a place where he's going to be a little bit more confident about making plays on the ball, then all of a sudden you start converting some of those. You convert, 2 of those into an interception in a season, you feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
So I do like Greg Newsome. I still very much am a believer in a couple of the later round guys as well. Robert Rochelle out of UCA, Paulson Adebo out of Stanford. So there are a few other corners that are outside of the top 4 that I'm pretty excited about. There is another cornerback that's getting a lot of conversation within NFL circles, though, and GM circles, and that's Georgia corner Tyson Campbell. Oh, a whole island for $95 million.
It gotta be real. I thought an island might be more expensive.
I mean, you're buying basically like your own everything. Yike. But anyway, Tyson Campbell is a corner that's been getting a lot of conversation within those GM circles as kind of being like the cornerback that not enough people are paying attention to, but could potentially sneak into the first round. He could be the Damon Arnett or the AJ Terrell, like we always talk about from the 2020 season. What do you feel about Tyson Campbell, if anything at all?
I don't really have any strong opinions either way about Tyson Campbell.
Yeah.
Just being real.
I have a little bit of, I think maybe I have a little bit more confidence in Tyson Campbell just because I see the similarities between he and Greg Newsome in that they like their build is kind of the same. They're both speedy guys. They're both in the 4.3 area. Tyson Campbell probably a little bit more physical than Greg Newsome. You still have a little bit that you have to figure out when it comes to Greg Newsome as a press corner and everything. But I'm really interested in Tyson Campbell and to see what he ends up doing. The other thing that I like about him the other thing that I'm concerned about sometimes when it comes to Greg Newsome is his he bites on double moves a lot. But both of these guys, one interception in their career at their school, only started 3 games for Tyson Campbell did in 2019. In 2018, he appeared in 14 games, but didn't have a ton there. He started a season opener there, and then he kind of, wishy-washed a little bit. But then by the time he got to 2020, he had an interception, 6 passes defended, and 29 tackles playing through 10 games. He's got a ton of experience.
Yes, he does. Man, the cornerbacks in this class are really one of the most interesting, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. There's a lot. I'm getting more and more intrigued by this edge class.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to think about for the next week as we get ready and teams get closer to deciding what they're going to go with, where they're going to go. That's going to be interesting.
Well, the edge class gets more interesting too, because I think we now have to start to really and truly factor in Zaven Collins as a piece in the edge class as opposed to the off-ball linebacker class too.
So I would throw Michael Parsons in there too. Honestly,
mm-hmm.
He would be so much better as an edge.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be able to hide all of his deficiencies as an off-ball linebacker, in my opinion.
Yeah. Zaven Collins, since the time that he weighed in, added another 10 or 11 pounds to his frame and has filled out to more of a defensive end size, 6'4", 6'5", 270 some odd pounds. I mean, the guy is all of a sudden a prototypical edge rusher. And so that's pretty much where it's clear that he views himself that way, and the NFL views himself that way for him to bulk up since his pro day to get to that weight by the draft. There's a reason for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I would argue that he should be talked about as an edge. He's just so big.
Yeah, it like broke my heart. It broke my heart a little bit because that was a draft crush of mine at the off-ball linebacker position, because I thought of him as being a little bit more of an off-ball linebacker that could pressure the quarterback, could put his hands in the dirt. Now he very much just becomes a guy that can put his hand in the dirt. And so the versatility, the unicorn-ness kind of goes away for me a little bit. Now, he could still be special as an edge rusher, don't get me wrong, but now all of a sudden he drops a little bit because of the positional value based upon the way that I'm evaluating players looking at the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. I don't know what his fit is with the Saints, really.
Not
if
anymore,
he's
yeah.
going to be 270 pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
But he'll be a very good edge rusher, and I think that it makes it all the more possible for him to end up in Tennessee. The fit that you like a lot.
Yes, I do like that fit a lot. I think he should be a Titan. It would make a lot of sense to me. So who's your linebacker now? Who do you like the most at linebacker for the Saints?
I mean, probably Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
That's what we love to hear.
Yeah,
That's what
I mean,
we love to hear.
I think for both of us, he was always above Zaven Collins, but it just didn't look like he would be in that range. Now it's looking more and more like he might be in that range because now all of the questions about, good fits for teams. I still think the Miami Dolphins would be a phenomenal fit for him at 18, but I don't know if that's where the Dolphins are going to go, right? We don't know if they're going to jump into the running back market as quickly as possible or if they're going to kind of turn the corner there, or even if they're going to pick at 18. We'll see what happens. But the other one that I would probably say would be Jabril Cox. Jabril Cox had his pro day today.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
Looked pretty good. 4.54 speed, 36-inch vert, and 10 foot plus inch broad jump. So he had the explosiveness. He has the 40 speed there. He was expected to run like a 4.63.
I still think I still think he drops in the first round.
I think he very well could, especially after the pro day today, because he exceeded expectations a bit. Because I don't think anybody looked at him and was like, oh yeah, no, he's going to run into his pro day and run a 4.4. Like, I don't think no one should have believed that. Let me put it that way. But like the general expectation among scouts was that it was going to be around a 4.6, and he comes in at a sub 4.55. And that's really good. That's really good for him. And it's really good as a linebacker, and especially somebody like him who is so active in the flat, is so active in the screen game, so active sideline to sideline. Like, if you can show that speed and that explosiveness, which we saw in his pro day today, that's a really good look for him and probably boosts his value a bit.
I still think Jabril Cox could be the best safety in this class.
He really could. I mean, he's really, really outstanding. And he's a very athletic player, very smart player. And you need all of that at the safety position. But if he stays at the linebacker position and plays sort of that, nickel linebacker role, that will linebacker role, that's a really good spot for him. So I think he moves up for me a little bit too, in terms of, a linebacker that sits atop the board. So it'd probably be like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Jabril Cox, Nick Bolton, Baron Browning, and then Jamin Davis, probably. Davis, I have concerns with processing. I have the Stephon Anthony concerns with him.
Ross, let me just say this real quick before we go. Speaking on the Rookie of the Year competition in the NBA, Ross, just want to say Jayshawn Tate has 672 points, 324 rebounds, 141 assists, 78 steals, 34 blocks, and 48 three-pointers made this season.
Wow.
The only other rookie to have posted those numbers through 61 games of a season was LeBron. So
pretty good.
Just saying, Jayshawn Tate, Rookie of the Year, doesn't
next
look
LeBron
too
James.
Bad. Yeah, next LeBron. Next LeBron James.
That's pretty outstanding, though. Those numbers are incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
That's right. All right, but I think we need to wrap up here. Make sure we're out of here in time for the hour. It has been a very fun day, and we get closer and closer here to the NFL draft coming on Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more. As look, the storylines are only going to get crazier and crazier throughout the week. That's the way this cookie crumbles. So
this
I'm
cookie?
looking forward to this. I know I messed up. So we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on here. Dylan and Ross, Sports, Full Press Coverage, Full Press Radio Network. Dylan, you got anything before we wrap up?
Go watch Endgame tonight, Ross. It's been today's 2-year anniversary of its release.
Oh, dope. Well, I guess I have to watch Ant-Man versus Wasp first, and then Endgame. So I have a lot of watching to do tonight, is what I'm hearing. All right. All right, y'all. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time here on Full Press.